mwendo huwa polepole na haraka. Wanafunzi sasa pale katikati mwa uwanja wanajipanga kuja mbele kula kiapo na hali kadhalika kusikiliza hotuba yako Mheshimiwa Rais.
Naomba tusimame tafadhali.
cha utiifu. Mimi natoa ahadi kwa moyo wangu wote, naapa ya kwamba nitafanya kazi kwa bidii kama afisa wa magereza bila uoga nitakuwa mwaminifu na mtiifu kwa rais na Jamhuri ya Kenya. Nitatii amri za rais na maafisa waliowekwa juu yangu, na kutii kabisa sheria na amri zinazohusu idara ya magereza zinazotumika kwa wakati huu au zozote zitakazotolewa mara kwa mara. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu unisaidie.
Tuketini tafadhali. Mheshimiwa Rais, ni wakati wa hotuba. Naomba ruhusa yako nimkaribishe mkuu wa chuo hiki, Senior Assistant Commissioner General of Prisons, Madam Wanini Kirei, aendelee na ratiba iliyo mbele yetu. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais.
Allow me to welcome you to Prison Staff Training College, Ruiru. With your permission, sir, I will now invite the Commissioner General of Prisons to make some brief remarks. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Interior and Coordination of National Government, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, and other senior government officials present, my fellow service commanders, led by Hilary Mutambei, the Governor of Kiambu County, His Excellency, Mr. James Nyoro, Principal Secretary, State Department for Correctional Service, Madam Zainab Hussein, Regional Commissioner Central, distinguished graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, we are greatly honored by your presence here with us today, and are indeed privileged that you found time out of your busy schedule to come and officiate this passing out parade, which is a significant occasion in the calendar of Kenya Prison Service. Your Excellency, sir, a total number of 3,000 trainees, representative of all Kenyan communities, and out of which 800 are female, are graduating today. The training program commenced on 1st November 2019 after a successful recruitment exercise conducted in all the sub-counties countrywide. I am confident that as they will release them today to join their seniors in the field, they have been fully equipped with the knowledge necessary for their success in executing the Kenya Prison Service core mandate of containing offenders in humane, safe conditions, rehabilitation, and facilitating expeditious administration of justice. A It is therefore a great honor to join them in celebrating such a notable career event at this graduation after the long and demanding training despite the unprecedented challenges presented by COVID-19 global pandemic. It's appropriate that we take a moment to reflect on the hard work and sacrifice that it takes to complete such a course of instructions. Allow me, Your Excellency, at this juncture, to personally thank you for considering the welfare of prisons officers through better remuneration and the introduction of programs that will, without a doubt, improve the housing conditions and the modernization of working equipments. Finally, to the graduates, cherish this time and make the most of the opportunities that lie ahead of you, and equally commit yourselves to make a positive difference in Kenya prison service and communities you will be serving, guided by our motto, kurekebisha na haki. With these remarks, Your Excellency, it is now my humble duty to invite the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Interior and Coordination of National Government, to make his remarks. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, my colleagues from across the spectrum of responsibility in government, especially my colleagues from the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, including our Chief Administrative Secretary, Mr. Hussein Dado, our Principal Secretary, Madam Hussein, the Inspector General of Police, and the Commissioner General of Prison Service, colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, let me start at a very humble point on my own behalf and on behalf of my colleagues in the Ministry of Interior by thanking the Lord for you and thanking the Lord for the opportunity you have given us to serve our country in this ministry and in the various departments within it. I thank the Lord for my colleagues. And Your Excellency, I'm very grateful that since 2018, when you called us and you gave us firm instructions on a fairly long and exhaustive list of the things you wanted done in the Correctional Services Department, the wonderful team of men and women in this department have been working hard. So we briefed you earlier, Your Excellency, we have met most of the objectives you defined for us. Nearly 3 years later, we have completed almost all the stalled buildings as you instructed us to. We have increased the productivity of the enterprise service of the prison department by over 35%, and we are on course to increasing it further. Your Excellency, you instructed us on many other aspects of reform. Today, we are graduating 3,000 very well-trained officers who are joining our cadres. And shortly, sir, according to your plan, we're beginning to train 250 cadet officers who will join the ranks of the officers on that trajectory of reforming this service. Your Excellency, prison means many things to many people. To Nelson Mandela, prison was a school. To Malcolm X, it was a place of meditation. And to many of Kenya's freedom fighters and founding fathers, prison was the place where the visions and the plans for this country were crystallized. I assure you, sir, on my own behalf and on behalf of my colleagues, that we will stay on the path that you have drawn for us to reform and ensure that the correctional services in this country are places where people come to reform and where people come to re-engineer their future, regardless of the circumstances under which they come in. We should be grateful, and we thank you, Your Excellency, for being firm and insisting that we close down our correctional service institutions. We followed your instructions, Your Excellency, and a college of this kind has reported about 100% negative results in the tests that have been done, because we strictly followed the demands you gave us to ensure that we close this place down and control interaction between the training programs going on here and the rest of the outside world. Since this is the first opportunity I have to say this, sir, may I finally thank you, because when you appointed Madam Wanini as a commandant of this institution, Your Excellency, you did something that is historic. It had never been done before. You appointed for the first time a distinguished woman service officer to lead this college. And I can testify here on behalf of my colleagues that she has done a fantastic job, and this is a tribute to the fact that women in our community have what it takes to move institutions to the next level. We are also lucky because, Your Excellency, in addition to Madam Wanini, you also gave us a phenomenal PS, Madam Sainabu. And so we have led from the front in terms of the ladies that you have given us and the outstanding job that they have done in the Correctional Services Department. Lastly, Your Excellency, I assure you that by the grace of God, we will stay on the path that you have drawn for us. This institution is on the reform path, and yesterday, we started the very final journey of paying the last coin of the old burning bills. And after verification, everyone who was verified will be paid because you instructed the Treasury to avail the resources. So we began yesterday to close out on those old burning bills. I am proud to report to you, sir, that for the last 3 years, we haven't accrued a penny in burning bills. And this is, again, in line with the instructions you gave us to reform the manner in which this institution is managed and to ensure that it rises up to the standards that you have set for us in the governance of public institutions in this country. We can't thank the Lord enough, and we can't thank you enough, Your Excellency, for your leadership, for your commitment, and Your Excellency, for the power of example that you have shown. I am grateful, and I believe my colleagues are too, that the Lord has been gracious to us, even with the challenges we've had recently, that we have come this far, and we are having this graduation ceremony today. Ladies and gentlemen, with those remarks, it's now my honorable duty to ask you to stand up and join me as I welcome our chief guest, His Excellency, our beloved President, to address us, Your Excellency the President.
Asanteni sana, tuketi, asante. To the graduates, and to the leadership of the National Prison Services, and also another constituency which unfortunately could not be with us here today because of the current circumstances, but I'm sure are watching on TV, and that is the parents of these wonderful young men and women before us. Let me say that it gives me great pleasure to preside over today's passing out celebrations for graduates entering the Kenya Prison Service. Indeed, let me acknowledge how pleased I am to see these young Kenyans ready to serve their country and the great and the greater humanity through this noble service. I extend my hearty congratulations to all of you graduates, and indeed register my appreciation to the trainers who have coached, instructed, and mentored you. Congratulations to all of you for a job well done. Ladies and gentlemen, today I will apply myself to only 4 things, and 3 of these go to you graduates. I want to speak to the graduates because our nation is a nation of young people. And most important, our nation is also a nation of believers. We believe in purpose, justice, and fairness. And as we graduate this cohort of 3,000 young men and women and admit them to be custodians of our incarcerated, I want to instruct them on purpose, justice, and fairness. These are the 3 ingredients that make a great nation. Firstly, let me talk about purpose. And I will talk to you as young people, not as recruits of the National Prison Service. As young people, you will need to find meaning in your work. But for you to do so, you must find purpose in your calling. An effective officer with purpose is one who solves problems. And if you become a problem solver, success will certainly follow you. As we commission you today, we are sending you into the prison service to become a community of solution givers. We are charging you with the task of solving problems. At the National Prison Service, we have a history of people who found their purpose and became great. Catherine Dereva found her purpose in this service, and she moved on to become the 4-time winner of the Boston Marathon. And she did not stop there. She became the holder of the world record for the women's marathon in 2001. There are also other exemplary examples of people who found their purpose in this service. There is Selina Kosgei, who became the 10,000-meter champion in the Commonwealth Games in the UK, setting a new world record. This service has also been home for champions like Lucas Kibet, Thomas Msembi, Gideon Chirchir, Margaret Okayo, among many other athletes of international standing. These young heroes of the service were able to do the extraordinary because they connected with their purpose. And although most of you graduates may not become great athletes like the people I have just mentioned, I implore you to find your purpose by identifying a problem that you were created to solve. If you solve only one problem in this great nation, as I said before, success will inevitably follow you. The second thing I want to talk to you about as young recruits to the service is justice. We are graduating you into this service for you to become agents of an emerging order in the prison service. I say so because historically, the colonial order in our country saw the prison service as a place where the spirit of the black man was to be broken. The service was an institution of subjugation, a place of separation, forced obedience, and a source of free labor. Indeed, the service was a den of retributive justice. But in a free Kenya, the prison service must be a place of restorative justice. If the colonial approach to prisons was about retribution, punishment, condemnation, stigmatization, and pain, restorative justice is about correction. It is not about punishing the prisoner, condemning and stigmatizing him with painful methods. It is about repairing his humanity and restoring his God-given goodness. As we commission you as new recruits at the National Police Service, I want you to embrace this emerging order of restoration as opposed to the colonial relic of stigmatization of wrongdoers. The third thing I wish to speak to you about is the doctrine of fairness. When I talk about restoration, I am not asking you to embrace the wrong deeds of those in your custody. Indeed, some of the prisoners that you will encounter as you move to your duties are guilty of misdeeds that will baffle your youthful minds. It is fair, yes, for them to be taken away and placed in custody far from civilized communities. But while in custody, you must not develop prejudice against them. I say so because the way you see and treat your prisoners because of what they did is what they become. You harden them instead of helping them to appreciate their mistakes, to repent, and ultimately reform. And this is the reason why prisons have tended to produce more hardcore criminals as they leave. So my instruction to you, therefore, is to embrace the spirit and doctrine of fairness. And fairness is choosing to rise above prejudice. As new recruits, I want you to condemn the actions and misdeeds of the evildoer, but not the person and the human spirit in the prisoner. You must do your best to restore their goodness and to restore their humanity. This is how we shall together build a positive nation. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I want to commend the leadership of the National Prison Service under Commissioner General Wycliffe Ogalo, and also the commandant of this training facility, Madam Wanini Kireri, for a job well done. I am particularly pleased, as the CS just said earlier, that these premises that have played host to 3,000 recruits plus many trainers became, and because of efficient management and care, you have maintained a COVID-free environment since the outbreak of the pandemic in March, and my sincere congratulations to all of you. In the same breath, I wish to highlight and laud the service for continuing your tradition of upscaling inmates and upskilling them as well. in areas such as artisanship, agriculture, engineering, and other vocations, so that when they re-enter society, they do so with skills and competencies that open up opportunities for gainful employment as well as enterprise. I commend the advanced efforts of the State Department for Correctional Service under the leadership of Dr. Matiang'i and the PS, for through the prison industries, you have established a highly secure, automated number plates production line. The production line will not only guarantee security and quality motor vehicle registration plates, but also promote local production and manufacturing. Your manufacturing and innovation efforts have maintained a standard that is unparalleled in our country, a standard that I would want you to replicate in other sectors under our nation's Big Four agenda. Similarly, I commend the efforts of the service in moving to stamp out mobile phone scammers, working with private institutions. You have built an enhanced surveillance system, complete with phone jammers and CCTV cameras in all our major prison facilities. With these innovations, the common scam of kupokea simu ya kamiti, I believe, will be a thing of the past. Last and not least, I also commend the service for the initiative to provide a target of 50 million tree seedlings. This will contribute significantly to the achievement of the 10% forest cover, which is our national target that we have set for ourselves. Equally encouraging and also worth registering is your push for cashless transactions to support prisons' enterprise. Indeed, Commissioner General, I congratulate you and your team for your revenues. Since we started this new system, have shot up from a mere 2 million shillings to over 700 million shillings in under a year. Unajiuliza pesa hiyo yote ilikuwa inaenda wapi? What an achievement. All these and more positive initiatives have not been lost on me, and they are clear indications of a service that is truly transforming. Hongera, Kenya Prison Service. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, let me reiterate what I have said to the graduates as new recruits to the service and as the young makers of our country's present and future. Our national purpose as a people will depend on you. But as our young people, you must find a problem to solve. And if you become a community of solution givers and problem solvers, success will not only follow you, but success will also lead our country into a prosperous future. This is how our national purpose will be enhanced. Further, I want to reiterate that as new recruits to the National Prison Service, you must embrace restoration over stigmatization. This is the emerging order of our corrective service. And in this regard, I instruct you to shun prejudice and condemn the misdeeds of those in custody, but not the human spirit in them. aspire to repair, to restore, and to re-engage the human soul in your spaces of work. That is how great nations are made. And to the leadership of the National Prison Service and your new recruits, I will end by saying this: let impossible not be your vocabulary. Indeed, impossible is nothing if we believe that we can. You, the leadership of this service, has demonstrated this ideal, and your new recruits must have no option but to follow in this positive spirit of work. I once again congratulate you and your families. I wish you every success. I wish you God's blessings as you proceed here henceforth to execute your duties as officers of the National Prison Service. Mungu awabariki, Mungu awalinde, mukiendelea na kazi yenu muhimu. Asanteni sana.
Asante, naomba tuketi tafadhali.
Your Excellency, the parade is now marching off in quick time after having sworn in by law to serve the nation without fear or favor in the sector of rehabilitation of offenders. ladies and gentlemen, let's all be upstanding as Excellency acknowledges compliments from various platoons. Thank you.
Tuketini tafadhali, naomba bendi ya magereza Mheshimiwa Rais inapoondoka uwanjani akionyesha furaha isiyo na kifani. Hivi sasa wanaondoka Mheshimiwa Rais. Mheshimiwa Rais, hivi sasa parade commander, naomba tusimame tafadhali, akija kufunga kazi rasmi.
Basi asante sana. Mheshimiwa Rais, tunakushukuru kwa yote ambayo umeendelea kutenda kutoka asubuhi. Mheshimiwa Rais, tunakuomba kwa wakati huu tukuburudishe kwa wimbo mmoja wa tarabu, wimbo ambao umetungwa chini ya kitengo cha muziki na sanaa katika chuo hiki, kitengo ambacho kinasimamiwa na Assistant Commissioner of Prison Bwana Duncan Nderi Mwingai. Utunzi wa wimbo huu umefanywa na kijana Idi Juma Idi ambaye ni mmoja wa walimu katika chuo hiki. Wimbo kwa kichwa Kaa Chonjo, Corona is Everywhere. Karibu Mheshimiwa Rais.